She said it was just a work trip, until I showed her a GPS log of her car parked outside a man's house all night. She stammered for an excuse, but I was already packing my bags. I'm Brandon, 42, living in Houston, Texas. I've been married to Lisa for 15 years. We have 2 kids, a comfortable home, and what I thought was a solid marriage. Lisa works in marketing for a tech company, and her job occasionally requires her to travel. It's never been an issue before. She'd go on her trips, and we'd keep in touch regularly. A few months ago, Lisa told me she had to attend a week-long conference in Dallas. She seemed excited about it, mentioning it was a great opportunity to network and learn. I didn't think much of it. We had dinner the night before she left, and everything felt normal. The first couple of days, we texted and talked on the phone as usual. She'd tell me about the sessions she attended and the people she met. But by the third day, her responses became sporadic. She'd take hours to reply to a simple text, and when she did, her answers were short and lacked her usual enthusiasm. One evening, I called her around 8 p.m. It rang a few times before going to voicemail. I left a message, asking her to call me back. An hour passed, then 2. I started to worry. Lisa was usually prompt in her responses, especially when away from home. I remembered that a while back, we had installed a GPS tracking app on our phones for safety reasons. It wasn't something we used often, but it was there. I opened the app and checked her location. Her phone was at a residential address in a Dallas suburb, not at her hotel. My heart sank. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but this didn't look good. I took a screenshot and decided to confront her when she got back. Lisa returned home on Sunday evening. She seemed tired but otherwise normal. I asked her how the trip was, and she gave me the usual rundown. I then asked, "Did you stay at the hotel the whole time?" She hesitated for a moment before saying, "Yeah, of course." "Why?" I pulled out my phone and showed her the screenshot. "Then why does this show you were at this address?" Her face went pale. She stammered, I can explain. After the conference, a group of us went to a colleague's house for a small get-together. I didn't think it was a big deal. "Why didn't you tell me?" I pressed. "I didn't think you'd mind." "It was just a work thing," she replied, avoiding eye contact. I wanted to believe her, but something felt off. "Who was there?" She named a few people I recognized from her stories about work. But something still didn't sit right with me. Over the next few days, I couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't being entirely truthful. I decided to dig a little deeper. I looked up the address from the GPS log and found that it belonged to a man named Eric, someone Lisa had mentioned before as a new member of her team. I confronted her again. "Was Eric's house where you went that night?" She looked shocked that I knew. "Yes, but it wasn't just me. There were others." "Can you prove that?" I asked. She couldn't. She said she didn't take any photos and didn't have any way to show who was there. The trust was eroding fast. I decided to reach out to one of her colleagues, Amanda, whom I had met at a previous company event. I casually asked her about the Dallas trip and if she attended the gathering at Eric's house. Amanda's response was, "What gathering?" After the conference, we all just went back to our hotels. That was the final straw. Lisa had lied to me. I confronted her one last time, telling her what Amanda had said. She broke down in tears and admitted that she had been seeing Eric for a few months. The Dallas trip was an opportunity for them to spend time together. I was devastated. 15 years of marriage, and this is where we ended up. I packed a bag and told her I needed space. I'm currently staying with a friend, trying to figure out my next steps. Trust is shattered, and I don't know if it can ever be rebuilt. To anyone reading this, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. I ignored the signs for too long, and now I'm paying the price. I stayed at my buddy Mike's place for a few days. Mike's been through a divorce before, so he didn't ask too many questions. Just gave me a spare key, a cold beer, and space to think. I couldn't stop replaying the whole thing in my head. Every conversation, every late-night work excuse, every damn time she said, "I love you," like nothing was wrong. Lisa kept texting. At first it was nonstop. Apologies. Long paragraphs. "We can fix this. I made a mistake. I didn't mean to hurt you." Then she tried calling. I let it ring. Then she started showing up at Mike's doorstep. He turned her away the first 2 times without telling me. The third time I was home. She stood there in the driveway with puffy eyes, holding a folder. Said it was everything. I didn't want to let her in, but Mike nodded like, might as well hear it. We sat in the living room. She handed me the folder. Inside were printouts, emails, hotel receipts, even screenshots of messages between her and Eric. Most were her ending it, telling him it was wrong, that she didn't want to blow up her family. I read every word. It didn't make me feel better. It didn't erase what she'd already done. I asked her one question. "Why him?" She didn't have a real answer. She said things had felt routine with us. That Eric paid attention. That he said things I stopped saying. It was like a knife turning in my gut. But then she said something else. "He's married too. His wife doesn't know." I just stared at her. She wiped her face and said, "I told him I wanted to confess. He begged me not to. Said he'd lose everything. He's not who I thought he was." I didn't say anything. But that stuck with me. Later that night, I looked up Eric's wife. Took a bit of searching, but I found her through his Facebook, tagged in vacation photos, smiling like she had no idea. Her name was Rachel. I stared at her picture for a long time. I wasn't planning anything. I just needed to know that she existed, that this guy had built his lies on someone else's heart too. Days passed. Lisa stopped texting. Maybe she realized I wasn't coming back anytime soon. I started seeing my kids every other day. Lisa would drop them off at a cafe down the block. I'd sit with them, try to act normal. My son asked why I wasn't at home. I told him I was helping Mike with some stuff. He's only 7. I couldn't bring myself to tell him the truth. Then something happened. One night, Mike and I were watching a Rockets game. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I usually don't answer, but something told me to pick it up. Hi, is this Brandon? Yes, who's this? It's Rachel, Eric's wife. I didn't say anything for a moment. I found your number in one of Lisa's old texts Eric had saved in his Google Drive. I was looking for something else. I think we need to talk. We met the next day at a diner halfway between Houston and Dallas. She brought a folder too, but hers was way thicker. Turned out Eric wasn't just having an affair with Lisa. There were at least 3 other women, maybe more. Rachel had been piecing it together for months, but couldn't prove it until now. The kicker? Eric had told Lisa he was separated, that he and Rachel were only living together for their daughter. That was a lie. Rachel was calm, like someone who had already mourned the marriage long ago. She asked if Lisa knew about the others. I told her I didn't think so. I wasn't defending Lisa, I was just being honest. We sat there for 2 hours. Shared pain has a weird way of bonding people. Before we left, Rachel handed me a copy of everything. Do what you want with it. Just thought you should know who she gave up your family for. That night, I stared at those pages. Something inside me shifted. I wasn't just angry anymore. I felt hollow, betrayed not just by Lisa, but by the entire story I thought was my life. The next day, I told Lisa I wanted to talk again. This time, I wasn't the one asking questions. I laid out what I knew. Everything Rachel had shown me. Lisa's face turned white. She had no idea. She started crying again, saying she thought Eric loved her. That's when she admitted something else. Something she hadn't told me before. I was pregnant. A few months ago. I didn't keep it. I froze. I wasn't sure who the father was, she whispered. I couldn't bring a child into that mess. I stood up. My legs felt like concrete. Lisa begged me to sit, to talk, to scream, to say anything. But I walked out. Now I don't know what to feel. I don't know what the next move is. My life feels like it was rewritten without my permission. I haven't told Mike. I haven't told anyone. I don't know if I will. But I know this isn't over. Not yet. A week passed after that last conversation with Lisa. I stayed quiet. No texts. No calls. I needed silence. Needed to breathe. I kept seeing my kids, made sure their routines weren't shaken. But I avoided eye contact with Lisa when she dropped them off. We were just 2 strangers handing off a bag with coloring books and juice boxes. Then something strange happened. I got a call from Lisa's boss. His name was Carlos, and we'd met once before at a company party. Polite guy? A bit stiff, corporate suit type. I answered, thinking maybe something happened with Lisa at work, or maybe something about insurance or HR junk. But it wasn't that. I hope this isn't too forward, Brandon, Carlos said, sounding careful. But I thought you should know something. I sat down. We had an anonymous complaint come in about Eric. It included screenshots and internal emails. HR launched a quiet investigation. Turns out, Eric wasn't just sleeping with your wife and a few others. He was also embezzling company money, submitting fake invoices, paying off a side business he owns under someone else's name. I said nothing, just stared at the floor. Carlos went on. We suspended him yesterday, and we're pursuing legal action. It's going to get messy. I asked how Lisa was involved. Carlos said she wasn't. At least, not in the fraud. But she might be called in as a witness. After I hung up, I sat there, stunned. Eric wasn't just a liar. He was a thief, too. A manipulator through and through. And Lisa got caught in his mess, whether she knew it or not. But it didn't stop there. 2 days later, Rachel called again. She sounded nervous. Said she needed to meet. I agreed, even though every part of me wanted to move on. We met in the same diner. She slid into the booth, eyes wide. You need to see this, she said, and passed me her phone. It was an email. From Eric. Sent from some burner account. Threatening her. He said she was ruining his life. That if she kept talking, he'd expose everyone. Lisa, the other women, even Carlos, who apparently had once been caught in a bar with one of the junior staffers years ago. He's unraveling, Rachel said. I think he knows it's all falling apart. We sat in silence for a while. Then she leaned in and said something I didn't expect. Do you think Lisa was really just caught in the middle? Or do you think she knew more? It hit me like a punch. I had spent so much time hating Eric, thinking Lisa was just naive or emotional. But Rachel wasn't wrong to question it. Lisa was smart. She always had been. She worked in contracts, marketing budgets. She managed numbers every day. Could she really have spent all that time around Eric and not noticed something off? When I got home that night, Mike was out. I sat on the couch and opened an old laptop I hadn't touched in years. It was mine before we got new ones for the kids. But I remembered Lisa used it sometimes during the pandemic when she was working from home. I logged in. After an hour of digging, I found something. An old folder, hidden deep in the drive. It was titled Q4_review_2019, but inside were copies of receipts, conversations between Eric and someone listed as B. talking about flights, reimbursements, and payments that didn't make sense. Lisa said the report's fine. Push it through. My stomach turned. It was her. She'd approved something. Maybe not everything, but she knew. At least some of it. She hadn't just been cheating emotionally. She'd helped Eric keep the lies going. That night, for the first time, I wasn't just hurt. I was angry. She'd looked me in the eye so many times, saying it was a mistake. Saying she got caught in something beyond her control. But she had her hands in the mud too. Maybe not all the way, but enough to be dirty. I printed out the folder and sealed it in an envelope. I haven't given it to anyone yet. I haven't told Rachel. I haven't even told Mike. It's sitting in my duffel bag, the one I keep by the couch, where I sleep now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. But the story isn't over. Not by a long shot. I waited a week before doing anything with that folder. I stared at it every day. Thought about burning it. Thought about mailing it to Lisa's HR. Thought about sending it straight to the police with a note that said, "Ask Lisa about the Q4_review_2019 folder." But instead, I sat on it. Not because I was protecting her. Because I didn't know what I wanted. Revenge? Justice? Closure? Then one Saturday morning, Lisa showed up at Mike's again. This time, she brought the kids with her. She asked if I could come outside and talk, just the two of us. I told Mike to keep an eye on the kids inside. Lisa and I stood by her car under the shade of the oak tree in Mike's front yard. I could tell she'd been crying even before I stepped out. "I need to tell you something," she said. "I already know," I said quietly. "About the invoices. The approvals. You helped him." Her mouth opened, but nothing came out at first. I didn't think it was illegal. I thought it was just company stuff. Budgets. He said it was all internal. That it was fine. I didn't respond. I just looked at her. Waited. I knew it felt wrong. But I was in deep already. I didn't want to lose my job, or the promotion, or what. I snapped. The affair? The weekend trips. Her face twisted in pain. I was stupid. I was selfish. I don't have excuses. I walked back toward the house. But then something happened that I didn't expect. Carlos pulled up. Her boss. He got out of the car, looked at both of us, and then at Lisa. "You didn't answer your phone," he said. "I wanted to give you a heads up. The board's moving forward. HR found the files. They know you signed off." Lisa just froze. "They've called for a hearing Monday morning. You'll probably be asked to resign. Quietly. No legal charges, if you cooperate." I turned and stared at Lisa. "Did you think this wouldn't catch up to you?" Tears spilled down her face. Carlos nodded at me slightly and drove off. Lisa didn't say anything. She just leaned on the car, hands shaking. After a moment, she whispered, "I thought I could fix it before anyone found out. I wanted to tell you, but I was scared you'd hate me." "I don't hate you," I said. "I just don't know who you are anymore." That night, she came back to get the kids. Mike offered to help carry their stuff to her car. As he passed her the last backpack, he said, "You know, Brandon never even looked at another woman in 15 years. Not once. She looked like someone had just shot her in the chest." She drove off in silence. I thought that would be the end, but it wasn't. A few weeks later, there was a board meeting at her company. Somehow, maybe through Carlos or someone else, the details leaked. Not just Eric's fraud, but everything. Names were redacted, but the timeline matched up too well. The internal memo made its way to a blog that covers corporate scandals in Texas. People put the pieces together. Parents at our kids' school started whispering. One of the other moms, Jessica, approached me after drop-off and said, "If you need help with anything, like carpool or weekends, just say the word. You're not alone." It caught me off guard. But that's how small towns inside big cities work. The web tightens fast. Lisa called me the next day. Her voice was broken. Not angry. Not defensive. Just empty. "I'm being asked to testify in Eric's criminal case. They're building it now. I lost my job. Most of my team won't return my messages. The company blacklisted me. They're letting me keep my severance if I don't go public." She paused, then asked, "Are you going to file for divorce?" I didn't answer her right away. "I don't know," I said honestly. She sighed. "I deserve that." We stayed silent for a long time before she said goodbye. That night, I sat with Mike. He poured me a drink and asked, "So what now?" And the truth is, I didn't know. I'd lost my marriage. I'd lost the image I had of the woman I loved. But I hadn't lost myself. Not completely. Somewhere under all the wreckage, I was still me. Hurt, yes, but still standing. I started therapy. Just once a week. Talking helped. I kept seeing the kids, and Lisa and I managed civil exchanges for their sake. But I didn't go back. I didn't forgive her. Not yet. Maybe not ever. I saw Rachel once more at a coffee shop. She told me Eric had taken a plea deal. He'd pay back what he stole and face probation. She looked lighter. Not happy. Just free. We sat quietly for a while before she said, "You know what hurts most? It's not the cheating. It's the fact that I trusted him with my whole life." I nodded. I knew exactly what she meant. Lisa and I separated. Officially. Papers weren't signed yet, but the emotional divorce had happened long ago. The kids stayed with her most of the week, and I got weekends. It hurt. Every Sunday night drop-off hurt like hell, but I was healing. I learned that people can lie right to your face with love in their eyes. That not every betrayal is just physical, some are quiet, hidden in spreadsheets and silence. And I learned that sometimes the closure you're looking for doesn't come with a final scene or perfect words. It comes in little moments, like waking up and not feeling like crying anymore. I'm still here, still figuring it out. But I'm not broken. Not anymore.